materials. So call us today at 876-345-5156. That's 876-345-5156. Or email us at mozyg@yahoo.com. We deliver. Gillings and Things Hardware Store. You name it, we have it.
Another banger. Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body.
Fit FM is owned and operated by Communistation Company Limited, located in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com. Our mission is to amplify diverse voices and opinions, inform, educate, entertain, and engage listeners of all ages and the lifestyle while promoting responsible community development. Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Blessings and light. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary. Your host and the community buzz on the Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 p.m. on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Fit mind, fit community, fit world. This is Aymara, the musical revolutionary on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Struggle goes on. We are the stone cities of Zimbabwe. We build them White House. We build them factories. With blood, with tears, with flesh, with bones. Them use build them economy. Now them want to con you and me with them science and them technology. We make them take with knowledge. Now them are deafly. Them are blindly. We are walk, we are ride, we are drive, we are fly. Nah, look. Nah, iCream, iPhone, Galaxy, tablet, Blackberry. Wake up, look. Uno no sister them a bury with. Ancestors crying out. Them a weak, you see we heading back to slavery. Robotic, digital, technological slavery. The rich take them session, call it recession. Left the world in depression. Legal and illegal drugs and alcohol on the rise. In dear interests. To our demise, we patronize, now become marginalized. Make fools seem wise because yes. Make fools seem wise because we are by them lies. Yeah. Yes, this is Aymara, the musical revolutionary, poetic musical revolutionary. Yes, it's another Monday, and it is the community buzz on Fit FM, www.fitfmja.com, www.primal4k.com. Yes, that's where we're at today and every Monday. And well, not on Primal every day, but on Saturday. But Fit FM is every day, 24/7, seeing music, you know. However, we are here, and this is Black History Month. Today is Monday, the 13th of February. Black History Reggae Month. Yes, so we are here to share some vibes, you know what I mean, to get into the minds of the people, to see what's up with them in their communities, you know. And so many things are happening in and around Falmouth. Me just pass out a rock and see how they're pretty up, and you know what I mean. I wonder why all of this beauty out front, and you know, and the road still block off, you know. No bridge, no out there, but we see them are pretty up out at the front, you know. So we need to find out from the authorities here to see what is happening in new development, or you know, that is going to take place out by rock, you know, or in and around that community. But we're happy to see the beautification of the place, you know, because that really do something to the people in mind when the place look nice and thing, you know what I mean? You know, but we just want to make sure, say, it is not a thing that some people act out and some people can't. In another, yes, last week was, you know, a busy week. There were so many things. We see the launch, you know, from what do you call it, agricultural show there. Yeah, yes. Agricultural show, which is them say to come up the 22nd of this month. So that is Ash Wednesday next week. Yeah. So I was there, you know. We see the minister, he came through, Minister of Agriculture and Fishery, Bernard Charles Jr. He was there, you know, and many other stakeholders. And it seemed that it is going to be bigger than the last one, which was when 2020. So toward that, you know, and to see how we can participate and to make it a success, and to see what the farmers can get out of it, and see how whatever is going to take place there on the 22nd, how much it can improve the lives of the people in and around the community. We don't just want these showkeep and it just come extract from the people and not give them anything back, you know. But it is always a great vibration. It's always a great show, you know, when the farmers come and they display them goods, from livestock to things from the earth, you know. So it's a joy, and it's always full of entertainment, and what would I say, entertainment and enough excitement. Yes, and also on that very same day, you know, the police organize a beautiful thing out in Water Square. I was there, did a presentation. It was received by many, you know. We give thanks to Sergeant Wallace to invite me there, and I'm happy that I was there to witness what took place there. So hopefully we're going to talk to Sergeant Wallace in a few minutes, you know, to see what, you know, will happen from there on. You know, we talk a little bit about domestic violence, how it is affecting our people here, especially the women, you know, because that is one of the things. I don't even like to use the word domestic, because when you look on the meaning of domestic, it is a very demeaning words, you know. Very demeaning when you hear it talk about domestic, because it's like a servant. And when you look back through history and to see how the patriarchal dominance happening, you know what I mean, where seem to be always over women and believing in some second class citizen and something like that, So we're looking forward to talk about these things, what I mean, and to dig a little deeper and how we can improve our lives in generally, or we can have a more harmonious vibration, a more harmonious man and woman, we don't see each other separate, but one of the same, what I mean? As I always say, I am male and female, I came through the woman and the woman is with me and I am with her always. So this is a community buzz. And when I say it's Black History Month, Black History upon Black History, from all aspect, when we the music pertaining to Black history. Reggae come out of the art of the people. It come out of the struggle of the people. It come out of the resistance of the people, the defiance of the people. That's what our music is about. And even the new trap music, if you listen to some of the lyrics, is a kind of a defiance, but some of it is very destructive to our own selves, There was a time when the music was to chant and beat down Babylon. Now it reaches a stage where we are chant and kill one another and we are show off how much we have, what I mean? So I wonder how when it reaches so and why, we allow it to reach this stage that people reach. Well, it's not now. It's not now. They might try ban the music because I will heap thing them ban, them ban even revival, them ban. As we talk about revival, yeah. Friday night I was at Caporinal's 100 and what 12th birthday. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Crystal invited us, and I was happy that I was there, to all the vibes with the revival things, partake of the table. A long time I even eat piece of white bread, and me did have to eat a piece of white bread, because it was a kind of communal settings and all a grapefruit and all two banana and all two put the apple in black apple, what we call it in Jamaica, everything black. But the culture was just so rich Friday night, and we dance and we sing and we celebrate Capo and, we talk about all the people who contributed to his life and to, keep that great culture of revivalism alive, and we want people to know that this is what reggae evolved, out of these kind of music, these kind of expression that we find ourselves where we are today. It was one of the time we were talking about, how Capo was being victimized and brutalized and locked up many times, went to jail for practicing his craft, So these are some things that we need to look into, and I want people to know that these things are still on the books, These things are still on the books that what then call it, and it is not even Hobia, but demonize it and say Hobia and say Hobia is illegal, and but it's because of something that the white supremacy system and the oppressors could not understand, so they have to find a way to lock out our own expression, silence. Don't think that we stand up for embrace those culture. We have to highlight them. We have to give people who are at the forefront, and continuing to give this culture some form of relevance in today's society, and we see we are a lot of revivalists becoming prominent people in society, a doctor was there, people who now as revivalists are principal of schools, and so there were so many speakers. So it was a really great communal vibration, and that is what I say, and this is why this is the community buzz, because full joy was kind of communal expression, imagine everybody had danced around the table, and this table, if you don't understand all the settings of a revival table, everything upon it, and by time we're done, the last
part of it now. Everybody must pick of what is on the table. Yeah, I mean? See? And the great thing with the duck bread, man, when that big duck bread broke, and then Miss Vanhala remember say, but wait, the people don't forget say COVID still about, you know, cause we not see no hand did wash before the bread broke. But we're there still. We're there still, you know, and we're alive and we're well, you know, and full of energy from that vibration. But, you know, from one store to the other, heading home, you know, yeah, all right. Heading home. Well, I was not nearly right me off, man. I was running on my car, man, lick off my car, mirror, bust up my windshield. Yeah. So that was another thing, you know, but we give thanks for the eventful weekend, man. Was I mean eventful? Strong end. But we're there and we're giving thanks, you know what I mean, for life, you know. So what we can do? We can just bung something else before we talk to before. Yes, I.
Bye, bye, bye. Wicked men, bye, bye. Oh, yeah. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Wicked men, bye, bye. All our lives, suffer and cry, watching our prophets and our leaders die. Physically, chain release. Yes, still I and I man can't live in peace. Got to trot out of Ethiopian, come if we look to the east. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Wicked men, bye, bye. Wow, again. Bye, bye, bye. Babylon, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Wicked men, bye, bye. Children of Jah, leading to you. This is what Jah wanted to do. Organize, centralize. That's the only way. No worry. Think wise.
Yes, yes. As we say, bye, bye, bye. Babylon, 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 bye, bye. You know. It's one destiny, you know what I mean? As Marcus Garvey said, you know, we have to stand together. And always remember the principle of Umoja, the principle of, you know, the founding father of the station, you know what I mean? To strive for and maintain it in family, community, nation, and race. Umoja, that's the principle. But as we are talking about the principle of Kwanzaa and kind of, you know, ancient practice within our African history, we see it happen every day among us, but some of we don't really pay attention to it. And some of us, we don't even know, say, naturally, that is what we are doing. And if you talk about Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problem and solve them together. Well, you know, said Ujima, I saw the practice of Ujima on Wednesday, you know, with the Jamaica Constabulary Force coming together, you know, domestic violence intervention pop up. It was a very great and interactive and loving and communal vibration, you know, and that is what we call Ujima, collective work and responsibility. So I understand that one of the person who was head cook and backwasher in the whole process, and is a really community man, you know what I mean? Otherwise, from his work as a police officer, as a sergeant of police, Mr. Wayne Wallace is here to, you know, a little talk on what took place there and the reason for that domestic violence intervention pop up. Mr. Wayne Wallace, Sergeant Wayne Wallace, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm fitter than the fittest.
You're fitter than the fittest. I'm happy if you know that,
Yes,
you know.
man.
Because the kind of work where you do, you're happy fit, you know. No, we
I tell you, let me say greetings, or I should sing it. Greetings
yeah, man.
I bring from Jah to all
ragamuffin. Oh, you mean? Oh, you mean,
to all the
Sergeant?
people listening on Fit FM here in Jamaica, in Trelawney, and all those who are listening in the US through our counterpart radio station there. I just want to say greetings to you all, and thanks for tuning in to Fit FM. Thanks
Yes.
for tuning in with love.
Yes.
I'm honored to be here.
Yes, so Sergeant Wallace, I was there. You invited me and I came through and I did a presentation. And I was very impressed to see what was taking place out in the square with this domestic violence intervention pop-up. Whose idea is it to organize what took place there Wednesday gone?
Well, it was the idea of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Community Safety and Security branch.
Mhm.
And in that branch, we have Deputy Superintendent Jacqueline Dillon, who is in charge of the domestic violence department. And so it is through that department we have decided to go through the various parishes in Jamaica to have a one-to-one with the people, with the public.
Mhm.
And we call it the domestic violence intervention pop-up session, where people just come in and chit-chat with us. They can give us reports on the spot. We educate them, and it was basically the brainchild of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. It's like the pastor taking the church to the community instead of the community coming to the church.
Yeah.
So we, as the police, we took the message to the community.
And that's another kind of security, you know, because people believe that security is that the police must always be fighting crime. But that kind of security to take care and to intervene, you know what I mean, to make sure that people feel safe, you know, especially if they might go through any psychological problem. And one of the things that saw was, you know, when people were just giving to people who came there who are facing challenges to buy medication. I see so many things happen. I see people give away up to $20,000 one person. You know, that was
Well,
yes. Go
I
ahead.
must tell you, Imara,
Mhm.
that the people of Trelawney always impress me, and they always support the initiatives of the JCF, to include Fit FM. From before Fit, they have been supporting, and all our stakeholders, some were present, some were not present. They always support. And case in point, I was impressed with you, Imara, because it was just the day before I made contact with the JCDC for a performer.
Yes.
And the parish manager gave me your name and she had to spell it for me, you know. and and she did not only ask you to come, but she came with you and supported the event, right? And you said that the police alone cannot fight crime. Crime is a community event. The police and the citizens working together. But my philosophy is, Imara and Jamaica and the diaspora, is that the people of Jamaica, we will not be able to fight crime effectively until the people in Jamaica are able to trust their police police. A lot of people out there who know what's happening, they have the information, they see things happening, but because they do not know who to trust, they keep they keep silence in reporting crime. And we have come to realize that this is an issue that is affecting the JCF in crime fighting. And that's why the Community Safety and Security Branch, which is the face of the JCF, we go out into the communities. We go out to the communities, just like as we did last week, Wednesday, and we interface with the public and to show them that there is always a better way and that there are police officers they can trust.
And the truth is, the police is the people, you know, because the police, all police officers came out of the people, you know. And
I agree.
And when they take off on a uniform and go home and turn citizen again, so the police are still citizens of this country. So it's something that we need to have a closer look at and have a deeper relationship that, you know, we can, you know, more police club. I heard one of the superintendent was asking a young lady if she knew or have any knowledge of any police youth club in her community, and it seemed like that is something that is on the dying. I mean, and we would like to see that kind of thing re-emerge, that we as a people can participate, you know, in community development and to protect ourselves from even the psychological violence is happening, because violence is not, but it is also a psychological game. And these are some of the discussion that we need to have, you know, to see what is affecting people for them to react a particular way. Because some of the times when you see people get physical, is because of what is happening in them head space, you know. So mental illness, you know, coming from all kind of different things. So we happy to see the police out there, and even the police, you know, suffer serious challenges, you know what I mean. So we were really happy to see that kind of a community vibration out in Water Square, and I must tell you, the people participate very well, and just look like them and the police are one, which is something that I really impressed about, you know.
Yes, and Trelawney police enjoy a good working relationship with its citizens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have counterparts even in the parish where I'm from, and they always say that they wish this kind of camaraderie with the police and the citizens was alive in that parish. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I must that during this session on Wednesday, we started from 12 noon until 3 p.m. We had a JCF band that provided entertainment,
Yeah.
plus police officer, our stakeholders like yourself. I like the point you did,
Yeah.
and I hope you have it on record.
Yeah, man, it's out there, yes.
As we also gave out cash to needy children who answer questions, and there was a lady there. She called me her daddy. She has a 5-month-old baby, and she came and she spent the entire day with us, and she was presented with a gift basket and $5,000. And just about half an hour ago, she came to the station with the baby.
Great.
Out of that, it's not my baby.
Well, it's your baby, you know. Whether you're your godfather or something, you better adopt the baby there.
Well, you know, all the children, all journey belong, you know, they belong.
So, you know, make that steer in the public spheres.
Yes.
That is the father for all children in the community. You know what kind of responsibility that is? A big responsibility that, you know, Sergeant Wallace.
That's a big one I've been carrying since 2005. Just last weekend, I was speaking. I met a lady from England. Her name is June.
Yeah.
And I had to mention Julia's daughter, January. You know, and said I have watched her since she was a baby until she went through all attorney, right?
Yes, yes.
Attorney at law, right? Out of Saturday's session, though, out of Saturday's session, we we will be having a follow-up session to that. So on Thursday and Friday of this week, the domestic violence prevention unit will be having a workshop at the Calvary Baptist Church in St. James, where Trelawney was tasked to register 10 police officers and 12 civilians from our various communities. And we will transport them to Montego Bay in the 2 days so that they can be trained to help us to deal with domestic violence. I want to say to the public as well that Valentine's Day is coming up tomorrow, and we have a slogan that says, "Don't love me to death, love me to life." You know, some people come and say to you that I love you to death.
Yeah.
We're saying to people, love each other to life. Show people love. Let every day be Valentine's Day and Christmas. And so if you're in a relationship and the relationship is going crazy, seek counseling. There is always a better way. One, you don't have to kill yourself and kill your partner. Two, you don't have to sit in the
abuse
the situation. And right now we sure with justice family court. Some of these situations are not physical, they're spiritual. And so we have a pastor on standby who is always ready at a moment's notice to come into our station and to have sessions with these people privately. And most times when they come, they leave here a different person, because most of the challenges that we're having, they are spiritual. And you know, we have physical and spiritual challenges, and so we have to be able to identify separate the physical from the spiritual. And this is what is happening within our schools as well, because if you notice, in every school in Jamaica or every other school, there is a disruption. See, there's one 20-year-old who tortured his 19-year-old girlfriend from the University of the West Indies with hot iron.
It is so
And
sad,
he's saying
man.
that she's cheating. She's cheating him. And I tell you, if you check the background good, I bet you are him first that get cheated. Well, a lot of men love to give bun, but they can't take the bun. You understand me? And we must,
you make the producer,
we must realize
the producer in your clap.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we must realize that the woman's body does not belong to us. It belongs to God, and it's her property. Anything she wants to do with her body, it is hers. And if she says it's finished, you must respect that it is done. You know? And I believe that if every man respect their mother, then they use a woman physically are their woman, but they're afraid to report it because of the ego and everything that comes with it. You know, the people will laugh at them. But I want to tell them to come to the police. We have professionals who will listen to them, take their reports, and deal with it in a private manner. But everybody hurts, and a lot of people, especially men, are hurting in silence because we don't have an outlet to go and to vent our challenges. You have the Women's Center. You have a center for women who have nowhere to live. We have the Women's Crisis Center. But what do we have for our men? Nothing.
Wow.
And so
that's a big question.
I want to reach out to our men, yes, to let them know that they don't have to suffer in silence, and to our women as well. You don't have to suffer in silence. There is always help, and there is always better way.
Well, I am telling you now, Sergeant, that you have educated me a while ago pertaining to what all the things that you said, because I never know. May I tell you straight up, say the police them have these kind of the force of these kind of intervention and solution to other aspect of I don't want to call this crime, because it's, to me, it's more a some psychological issues that we are suffering. And I know what the police are facing as well, you know what I mean, to be working in difficult and challenging situations, you know, is something that we have to look at and see how we can really partner with each other and make Jamaica, make our lives in general, you know, be much more, you know, better, because we have it in us. We all have it in us that it, you know, we can make the change and be the change that we really want to see in this country. And I am happy to hear this, and you know, I am on board to, you know, to participate in whatever, you know, we can do to change the face of Jamaica. You know, I mean, understand. There's a history of the police where people may be fearful of because of how the police force was formed and come into play, you know, to protect a certain sector of people. But we are seeing something different now. You know, I'm talking about the historical evidence and if historical fact. We are a lot of people, but as we say, we are one people. We are coming from the same background, you know, and it's time for us to look into the fears that we are in Jamaica today and to see how we can take responsibility for ourselves and our community. And I'm happy to hear this, living in a parish, right, and hear this kind of expression coming from the police, and not just expression, but to see this in action. That is something I beheld out there in Falmouth on Water Square Wednesday. It was really a beautiful vibes, you know, and just to see the talent, you know, in the police force, you know, it's not just police appear music, them all I read from scores, you know, and we know that the police are a vibrant musical background for years now. Enough people don't even know that the police really have a powerful band.
It is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was very impressed.
It is our wish that we're making plans now for the team to return to Trelawney, and this time we will impact the southern section of the parish, South Trelawney. So we want to do it in Albert Town Square later on this year, where we can impact everybody in South Trelawney. You know, say them that's the Mashet community, you know. And I don't want when John Lick Mary use the machete and slap him back, you know.
Yeah.
But when we go to the churches, we worship at least 3 times per month. Every month we have 3 church services. So this Sunday we'll be having 1 church service at Samuel Prospect New Testament, and we have one at a church in Zion.
Yeah.
And then on the 25th, we'll go to the Adventist church in Warsaw. And when we do worship with the churches,
yeah,
we punch in the message on domestic violence and domestic dispute, how to deal with them, and to remind our people that there is always a better way.
Yeah. So that's because when I want it to sound like it's just the church involved. What about the Rastafari community? Why the police will have vibes with the Rastaman them to go into the community and see the kind of work with the Rastaman them do, you know, if protect the family and secure them family.
Well, I'm going to tell you that the JCF of 2023,
yes,
and the 2005 when I enlisted, we are high on our diversity policy.
True.
And our police officers are lectured and taught not to discriminate against people's religious belief, the color of their skin, their days and ways of worship, or their sexual orientation. And so we in Trelawney, especially my department, would have had a very close relationship with the Rastas. I take pleasure in driving my service vehicle and use my PA system and say, "Ja, Rastafari, or highly blessed," you know? And so they welcome that. And So we have no problem coming to your place of worship. Just invite us, tell us where you are, and we will come.
All right.
Because guess what happened? Guess what happened? I know, and you know, and Julia know. You don't be dread to be Rasta.
Yeah. Well, that's true, because Rasta is deeper than dreadlocks. The original Rasta man, them wasn't dreadlocks, you know. So we have to know
It's
that.
a conception of the heart.
It's a divine, not just a conception, a
You know,
divine.
I was in the barber shop yesterday,
Yeah.
and the barber was speaking about how we eat and what we eat,
True.
and what happened to us when we eat chicken and pork and all the stuff. And he said, if we had followed the Rasta years ago on how to eat, we would not be having this health crisis today.
True. And we need certain level. We need certain level of truth.
And you don't only. And they said that you don't only just peel the cabbage and eat the cabbage and the callaloo alone. You can mix it with a little bean, a little this and a little that, a little pumpkin and so forth, and you blend up your thing and put in your whatever in there.
Yeah, man. That's why. Yeah, man.
Right. You make a stew. You know. So just let us know where you worship, and we will come. And I would love that.
Aye.
I would love that.
It's not just worship, you know. It's just all the heights, a reason. Just like over there, so a reason now. So on the 27th of this month, you know, we'll be around by Foreshore Road at a Ras Pablo restaurant. You understand? We are going to have a Black History celebration around there, you know. So we want to invite you and the other policeman. Them sit with I and I. Fit FM will be there. The community bus will be there live. You know what I mean? Black, you know, and we'll share some deep history of ourselves and where we are coming from, and to see how we can come to what we call truth and reconciliation, because there is some deep history, some pleasant and some unpleasant with us as a people. You know,
that's on Monday, February 27th.
Yes. And
what time will that be?
Well, we start from and we come straight back into the evening, you know, before me 9 o'clock, you know. So I don't like say it about
you know, on Mondays we have management meetings in the morning, and then in the afternoon we have tasking meeting. So we would impact you in the afternoon when our meeting is through.
Okay.
I will talk to you after the year and have a discussion with you on that. But for sure, I would love to come in. You're gonna have the Nyabingi there?
Everything I got there, man. Drumming, Nyabingi, and just reasoning and Black history education, Black books, you know, and display. And then we'll be talking about legal issues. We're talking about the laws that are affecting the people, how we can intervene to see how we can change the laws, you know, to and Judge Maddox will be there with Anchorage, a new kind of justice, and we will be discussing how we can come up with something that is more suitable, not when I look too antagonistic and too oppressive, that all of us can really full joy Jamaica to the max and not feel like some people is better than some, you know, to break the whole structure of the classes system that's set up, you know what I mean? And that including the police, because most people still feel like the police is the enemy of the people. But me know see no so, because down to this morning, me I talk to my nephew who is a policeman, and you know, so they are always in our family. So we give to that, you know.
The police is not an enemy to law-abiding citizens like yourself and our listeners out there. The police is an enemy to do not know how to abide by the law of the land.
Yes.
Yes. Just for clarity.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just remind me. Where on Foreshore Road we'll be having this session.
Julia but it's about a Ras Pablo restaurant, you know, seafood restaurant and Jerk Center. It is the best seafood restaurant. And I want to find food, man. Just go on and ask Ras Pablo, man. The most authentic.
I know
And
was probably a friend of mine.
so right a film place. All right there, so.
So I just recorded this in my diary, and I'll have discussion with the superintendent.
Yes.
And definitely we will be there.
All
we,
right.
we I must tell you though that the domestic violence intervention,
Mm-hmm.
we also have 77 young people from Kingston and Hanover
Mm-hmm.
who is presently on a
Your shift, you're driving our, yeah, we are losing you now.
camp. So this is the second week, and the police have been engaging them. The police have been engaging them in the police have been engaging them in sessions, and believe me, they said that they have never been exposed to this positive side of the police. And so they're teaching them also how to deal with their domestic disputes
Yes.
and the domestic violence within
Yes.
them, within their communities. So by the time they go back to their respective homes,
Mm-hmm.
they will be transformed at a high level.
That's great. Great work from the police, you know. Great work from the police, and we must, you know, continue to salute you and the entire Jamaica Constabulary Force, and to see how we can grow from strength to strength, you know. I'm happy that, you know, you are doing the great work that you are doing. And I know, you know, if you save everybody, you know, if you just save 2 lives, that is great. You understand? And we are moving forward. And we know say Jamaica going to be a better place. We know that, you know, and we have to claim that.
There is hope for Jamaica, you know.
Well, may I say it is much more than hope, because we say action, and action is what them say what work. Faith without what work don't really make anything, you know. So it is faith and when you're putting in the work, then surely the change is happening. Not going to happen, it is happening, you know. So we are happy that we see the change, and change is taking place within our community. And, you know, we must participate also in the process, the political process that is affecting our lives, because these are some of the things that are, well, there is where laws are formulated, and some of the laws that are formulated, the police are there just to carry out the law, and we know that. But some of the laws that are formulated, you know, even when the police say, boy, we must adhere to the law, but some of the laws are very oppressive, and we can see what is happening now pertaining to the Road Traffic Act. And I will bring you down the road there yet, but one of the day we're going, you know, call upon you to come inside here, and we sit down and we talk about some of the laws that are put in place, and to see how, you know, we can look into them, and how much the citizen must learn how to participate in that process before laws are enacted that is going to affect us. You understand? So these are some of the things that we need to talk about. While we say the changes are happening, but there are much, much more to be done. And it takes what we call dialogue, the beautiful dialogue that me and you have right now. We need to have it.
Most definitely.
Yes.
And tomorrow, as you talk about the road traffic, tomorrow there will be a town hall meeting at the municipal corporation town hall. That's by the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Where the transport operators development or transport authority, they'll be having a stakeholders meeting to speak on the Road Traffic Act from A to Z. So we're asking.
Can I repeat that, Sergeant?
Let me just read the flyer. The new Road Traffic Act from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
They say, what are the challenges and benefits?
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a town hall consultation tomorrow at the Trelawney Municipal Corporation Town Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. and the public is invited and to be in the know of what is happening and to ask your questions and so forth. The authorities will be, the superintendent will be there, and the traffic department will be there, and other stakeholders will be there.
Okay. All right, that is pin at the
Right.
at the
And
Chilani.
I share the link. I just shared the link with Auntie Julia
Okay,
for
okay.
information.
All right. So he will be on top of that, and we'll make sure pass on the information, even before we wrap up this program.
Directly just call a police officer or somebody secretly, and we will intervene right away.
Yes.
As where our children are concerned, you can always dial 211 to report any form of child abuse.
211.
211, yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Sergeant, we're happy to have you here. It's a pleasure having you here, to share the great works that the police of Jamaica, the Jamaica Constabulary has been doing to, help the citizen of Jamaica and participate in the development and the change that we want to see in our country. I'm happy that we have you, sir, and I hope you have a great day and the rest of the afternoon going into the night and on. And may the Almighty bless you with health and strength and wisdom, knowledge and understanding to continue the great work that you are doing, as a father for the community, because you have a great responsibility. When you just said to me, say that you are all the children in Falmouth or in Chilani, you are the father for them. It's a powerful statement that you make. Hope all of we could emulate that kind of statement to know that all the children that we counter are our children. Happy to have you, sir. We'll talk again. Looking forward to talk with you.
I am honored. I am honored to be here. And once again, let me just say thanks for having the JCF on air. And I just want to big everyone that is listening here at home and abroad, those in the diaspora, and say thanks to Primal Media Group, all the way in the USA.
Yes.
Primal Media Group, all the way in the USA, who is on board with Fit FM here in Jamaica. And I just want to say to you, big up yourself, and the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you, just forever.
Always, Lord light. Yes.
The wealth of a nation is measured by the health of its people. Fit FM, in association with Lena Medical and Gynecology Centers, don't when Friday morning connection matters. A 5 minutes feature for cells and the vulnerable in our community. That Health Matters every Wednesday and Friday morning on Fit FM 96.7.
Get you right with the Morning Connection. Weekday mornings, 7 a.m. right here on Fit FM 96.7. Connect Julia Mikkel Benaya on the Morning Connection for news, business and artist promotions, great music and vibe. Morning Connection with Julia Mikkel Benaya, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
and medium-sized business owners. Fit Business. Call 876-377-3442 or 876-317-1991. Don't be left out. Promote your business on Fit FM Business Ball Out.
Hi, this is DJ Extra. Join me this and every Saturday morning for the Saturday Express. It's extraordinary, exciting, and a whole heap of extraness. That's the Saturday Express, 7 to 11 a.m. Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Blessings and light. This is Imara, the musical revolutionary. Your host and the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. This and every Monday at 3 p.m. From the home to the community to the wider world. Let us be the change we want to see. Join me this and every Monday at 3 on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. Yes. We are here on the community buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Fit FM. And we're going now www.fitfmja.com, www.primal4k.com. People, we always ask you to tune in and to call 876-478-9144, 876-317-1991. So we go again, 876-478-9144, 876-317-1999. Yeah, you can call, ask a question, or make whatever contribution you want to make to the program. Inform us of what's happening in your community, pleasant or unpleasant, just share with us, and invite us into your community, invite us into your home, wherever you are. We are here to serve you. That's what we are here for. The community buzz, to share and to highlight whatever is taking place. Now, we have Anchorage on Smokes, the mother of Anchorage. How you doing, Simone?
I am well, Imara.
Blessings
I am
and
well
light.
this afternoon, greeting you and all our listeners this evening at home and abroad.
Great. How is everything on your side of the world? What is happening in your community?
My community appears peaceful, and I say appear because I am also aware that there are issues brewing under the surface, but there's a lot to be gained by having a calm approach to life, so we can explore what is beneath the surface of the calm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My community appears.
So nobody no can smoke like how they can smoke me out today.
Well, that issue of smoking seems most dramatic at the Supreme Court of Judicata in Jamaica. And it was instructive to note the comments of the Chief Justice, the Honorable Chief Justice last week, that At the Supreme Court, it seems to be the biggest ganja session in Jamaica. And we need to think about why we would do something like that.
So you know, more
In that
hear
way.
every single word where you say, I mean, hear your break a while ago, you know. Yup,
You were,
I want to hear
you're not hearing me? Are you hearing me any better
yeah,
now?
go again, because you are breaking up.
Yes. I was
Yes.
seeking to respond to your comment about you being smoked out. And it brought to mind a report just last week, that at the Supreme Court of Jamaica, that is a perennial problem, that people come there to smoke on a regular basis until it was described by none other than the Honorable Chief Justice himself as the greatest ganja session in Jamaica at the Supreme Court, where the laws you would
Another
think
kind of smoke. Another kind of smoke.
So that was something of note for me.
All me guilty of the kind of smoke, you know, me not talk about, because sometimes we have some rubbish, you know, my breadfruit tree drop a whole heap of leaf and everything there. And sometimes when me sweep it up, me have to light it, you know. So this morning a man come and the man a chop down some green bush and then just this side say man in camber and then just light up. The unity was dark of the smoke from he's not even living in the community. He's so somebody work, you know, and he's just next door to me, you know. I have to be out there kind of interacting with him and say, all right.
Let's negotiate a solution.
It's a peaceful young man as well, you know.
Yes.
And
so
you know,
maybe
so
it was maybe it was an error in judgment. Maybe he made an error in judgment.
I felt sorry for him. True, because I felt sorry for him at the time. It seemed like the fire was getting out of control. No water on the property. And he was there trying to get out the fire in the thick of the smoke, you know. And I was wondering what this young man doing to himself. But,
yes, and
you know,
so you see, it could have gotten out of hand. I'm hearing you.
Yes, yes.
I'm saying that it could have.
I made sure.
And it could have gotten out of hand.
Go ahead, go again.
I'm saying that the fire that he started,
of course,
without bad intention, it could have gotten out of hand. If you were not there, maybe it could have gotten out of hand. You're not hearing me?
True.
You're hearing me now, Amara?
I'm hearing you. You break a while ago.
Yes.
You break, but I hear you. I hear you, yeah. All right, so what we have on the agenda for a new kind of justice?
Today, what is prominent in my mind has to do with how we started last week. So we were talking about the Noise Abatement Act, and there were certain sentiments expressed about that legislation and who it is for and who it affects and who it does not affect. So I wanted to find out a little more about it, and so I embarked on what I would call a kind of road fact-finding mission. I just wanted to see where the different debates concerning this legislation have reached, and to have a greater appreciation, especially now when entertainment and practitioners of entertainment are having more than a month a focus, and against the background of Reggae Month and all of that. And it was quite an interesting and instructive experience because the information concerning this law does not seem to reside in any one place. And so you have different efforts and initiatives around the place, different groups and different people who have interest in this subject matter, and you don't have a targeted approach. And that also caused me to reflect a little bit on how citizens are able to participate in the lawmaking process, even to have an idea of what is going on. And we have work to do. That is what I can say. We have work to do. So tomorrow, for instance, the parliament is going to open. Are you hearing me, Amara?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Opening of Parliament tomorrow.
Opening of Parliament.
I'm hearing you.
tomorrow.
You hear? Yeah.
And last week, Thursday, the Governor General of Jamaica, who represents His Majesty King Charles III, gave what is called a throne speech and listed out the main pieces of legislation that will be the focus for this coming legislative year. So we're talking about 2023 going into 2024. And Noise Abatement Act is not on it, not on the list. There are other pieces of legislation that maybe would not have appeared in his speech, but when I went searching to see what the list looks like, noise abatement is not on it. So that is not a priority at this time, based on what has been put out for the public. And the last piece of information that I was able to find just off the internet is a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, that was arrived at between the Ministry of National Security and the private sector organization of Jamaica concerning the Noise Abatement Act. And when I looked at that document, all it said in the report, because it has a report, was that COVID issues have intervened. So the long and short of it is that nothing much seemed to be going on where noise abatement legislation is concerned at this time. And the focus seems to be on legislation that has more to do with crime fighting initiatives and efforts. So firearm is a priority, cyber crime legislation, strengthening that's a priority. Other pieces of security related legislation, those are the main things that are on the list for this year for our lawmakers. And it also points us to the same question we started out with. How do we take stock of what is happening? How do we participate? How do we have a measure of accountability from our lawmakers, even after we grasp the concept of it and have a greater understanding? So my research took me now to Parliament, and I don't know how many of us know what the rules are if we to even go sit down in the Parliament to observe the proceedings. Do you know what that is about, Amara? You have any idea
I
what you will have to
I
do?
remember I remembered yeah, I am trying to remember now what is the procedure. But I went into the Parliament, I believe it was 2017, when they were discussing the needs to pass the Needs Act. Yeah.
Yes.
But it wasn't a challenge, you know. It wasn't a challenge,
Okay.
you know. So to reach out and to do some more research and to see, but you know, what is required, you know, for us to enter Parliament. But it has to be a certain, because it's not too much can hold at that
True.
segment
But
for it isn't
so
to
I downloaded
participate or to come in and
I downloaded the
yeah.
list just to remind our listeners and to inform our listeners that visitors, you can be a visitor and you can be admitted to the meetings of the House of Representatives, that is going to Parliament. When they say the House of Representatives, that and the Senate, that is really where the laws are debated and
Yeah.
made. And so visitors can be admitted, but they can't be admitted if they are not appropriately dressed. And
Yeah, that's what
appropriate dressing is business attire. And no visitor may bear firearm or any kind of weapon on them. And any officer on duty or constable on duty who suspects that anyone within the surroundings has any firearm or any weapon will remove such a person. You cannot use any speech. You have to be, it's an exercise in silence, because once you're in the gallery, you can't be speaking, making sign language,
yes, that's it.
exhibiting. Yes, you can't push out your mouth to give a little signal, you know, of disapproval or approval of anything. You can't roll your eye or cut your eye if that is going to be a signal of anything that can affect the debate in the House. So, in other words, you cannot attempt to communicate with any member of the House, your member of Parliament, by using speech, sign, or any kind of exhibit while the House is sitting. So that would see the Noise Abatement Act would be in its finest hour, because you have to be totally silent at that time. You cannot carry a briefcase with you or any package within the precincts of the House. And you cannot do anything. You can't create any, you shall not create anything that can be seen as a message within the precinct. So those are just some of the provisions. Of course, no photography, no videography, no sketching. So you can have your blank sheet of paper and decide that you're going to draw an image of someone who is speaking or gesticulating. And you, from that point, you can observe. No food, no drink, and you can just be silent and observe. Children under the age of 5 are not admitted, and children 13 years and over can attend with an adult. So I just thought that would be enlightening for our audience and for us as we ponder what avenues we have at our disposal
What?
to participate in the legislative process, the process of making laws.
What is the dress? What's the dress code? Because I believe when I went, I had some challenge with that. Dress code.
Dress code is deemed to be business suit for men and women. So jacket and tie and skirt suit and dresses with I would imagine some kind of sleeve, maybe cap sleeve or something of the sort, because it is a monarchical construct. It is a constitutional monarchy that we have, and the parliament is headed by the king still. So the customs, the British customs would still apply, still do apply.
Well,
So you
let me
recall
break the
being in
rule
a
of the other
jacket
because me never go in such kind
you
of.
never have on jacket and tie.
No,
three-piece
I
suit
never
and tea.
prepare for that. No, sir. No. I believe it was a, let me try to remember what we did have on. I believe it was a t-shirt.
It must have been of the highest quality. And maybe your manners were that of an English gentleman. So much so that your attire was not really viewed. But therein comes in the issue of discretion. So obviously, a discretion was applied
Well,
in your
that's kind of
favor.
a nice judgment.
Not here.
I had a nice discussion with a policeman who was trying to tell me that donkey said, jackass said the word no level. They say the day I went, I had a discussion with a policeman who was trying to tell me that jackass said the word no level.
Yes.
So I have to ask him when donkey tell him so because I never hear jackass talk.
And so you use your humor and your and some amount of charisma and made your way into the chamber. I get you.
Yes. So we had a great laugh over at the policeman look and say, but you know, before you have to go about jackass. We never hear jackass talk yet. So
that must have occupied his mind for a good portion of the session.
Nothing pertaining to even the recent Road Traffic Act will be discussed in Parliament and the opening of Parliament.
That has already.
Anything there pertaining to?
That has already been on the agenda, and so that is why I said that things seem to be happening in different places and spaces. Because just last week, the Minister of Transport and Works did make an announcement that the new Road Traffic Act will require phased implementation and went into detail as to several provisions which could not be implemented right now because we are still a work in progress. So one is not saying that nothing is happening, but it seems to me that we're doing a whole lot of things all over the place. And there is no real consolidation of the process. So although the government has three arms or three divisions, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary.
Yes.
And the legislator is a arm
Yeah.
or the division that deals with lawmaking. But things are happening or seem to be happening outside of the formal setup. And therefore, we don't have, a citizen does not have one place to go and get information, even though there's an acknowledgement that we are entitled to information. But you better
Mhm.
know how to research, you better know how to sift, you better know what questions to ask and what you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to be left up a creek without a paddle. That is my observation. So we need
Those
to
who really
bring
want to see
things together.
information will find.
The information could be staring you in the face and
So
you
you're
don't
saying
realize.
that access to you're saying access to information is not as easy as it sounded.
No, it is not. It is not. So going back to the same Noise Abatement Act,
Wow.
you would think that if you go, say, on the Ministry of
Government website.
Oh gosh, it just slipped me a while ago. Gender, entertainment, and sport.
Culture.
That ministry.
Sports and culture, yeah.
Right. The name changed so often too. So you would think that anything that touches and concerns entertainment, you'd find some information there. You would assume. When I visited that website, there were links
Yes.
some solid links to the Jaipur office. That's dealing with intellectual property, right? And links to the Chase Fund, to the private sector organization of Jamaica, back to the Ministry of the ministries. So you'd have those links and so on. But you wouldn't see anything. If you go into their search engine, you're not going to see anything about the Noise Abatement Act. They don't have a legal department. It doesn't appear that way. Yet you are hearing that each ministry is going to now have a team, a legislative team, to deal with the different laws that come under that portfolio. So we have some good ideas and some good structures, but we need to tighten up our thing much better. The most information I was able to find actually was under the Ministry of National Security concerning the Noise Abatement Act. And that is what led me to this memorandum of understanding signed between the Ministry of National Security and the private sector organization of Jamaica. So if we are saying, okay, that entity is a strong stakeholder, nothing is necessarily amiss or wrong with that. But other persons, other groups that would want to be stakeholders in this debate and this discussion, where do they go? That is not quite clear. So the roadmap need a little more details. Or some going go to the treasure and some are going to last a bush.
Wow. And this that is another discussion, that is another dialogue for us to have, that
Yes.
though the government say that there is access to information, it is not as easy as it sounds. So what next? Is it that you're selling the people a lie that yes, information is there whenever you want it? If there's access to information, it should be access to all who want to find it. and we should not go through so much challenges and difficulty, you know, which, and I believe this is something that is we as a people supposed to have the kind of access to information how a government operate, just like how
Yes,
they want to know how citizens operate and how citizens function.
yes,
You know,
I couldn't agree
so
with you
you
more.
are
In fact,
employed by the people, so the people. Yeah.
yes. So we are
Yes.
saying
Go ahead. Go ahead.
that citizen participation, that is a major pillar of any properly run country, any pillar of democracy. It's a pillar of democracy, and
Yes.
this is how, if citizens can
Yes.
participate successfully in the public decision making process,
Mm-hmm.
then we have better results, because the lawmakers are a reflection of our participation, because we elected them. They are the elected officials, and
True.
they play a crucial role as our representatives. But we can't be clueless. Otherwise, you have a piecemeal effort, and you have something that it's hard now to get the public to buy in and to really make a difference. So
Mm-hmm.
you are correct. The adequate dissemination of
Yeah.
information, it really shows, that is
Mm-hmm.
what will demonstrate the importance placed on citizens and their participation. Information that explain how things work, information that educates and raises public awareness, information that is easily accessible to everyone and easily translated by
True.
everyone. And Anchor is trying to make some mark in that respect, because we need openness and transparency, so we know what we are dealing with. And that's why the question is asked, what does justice look like to you? Because if you don't know what is happening and you don't have
True.
no reasonable way of knowing what is happening, you're just not part of the process, no matter what write down in a constitution.
That's it. Just break down, because you see here people say the politician are the elected political officials, right, are there to represent the people. The word
Yes.
representation, you know, I would like you bring that people understand what a word mean. Representation.
Well, you
Because you're
start.
there to represent interest. That is
Yes.
how I'm looking at it.
Re is a secondary process. So you present first and then you represent. So you exist. You are part
So
of
what
a community. And those who go to speak in your name
Yes.
or on your behalf, they are doing a secondary thing, as if you were there yourself. If you were there yourself in the parliament, in your numbers from your communities, you would be presenting yourself. But they are going on your behalf, so they
Yes.
are representing. So they have a duty
I'm
to
glad you
you.
got it. So what in the first place, what we really present to them? Because that never happened. That part of it is
because it would seem that in some respects
Um,
we have put the cart before the horse in some respects,
in
because
front the ass.
yeah, we do that some of the time. We do that some of the time because you don't know. Many people do not have a clue
Most of
about
the
the process. So let us unpack this whole legislative arm. Let us look at it. We are saying that it is that division of government that is set up to make laws, and we're talking in Jamaica, to make laws for peace, public order, and good government. Those are the three pillars of our legislator. So our division, our lawmaking division, is set up to achieve those three general aims. And how it is comprised, it has the king,
Repeat the three general.
the legislator, that's the lawmaking division or arm of government, is set up to create laws, to make laws for peace, P-E-A-C-E, for peace, for order, and for good government. Those are the three priorities that are stated. And how is it the legislator made up? How is the lawmaking division comprised? It is comprised of the monarchy and the two houses. And what they mean by houses, assemblies, groups. We're talking about the Senate, and we're talking about the House of Representatives. So, sometimes you hear discussion about the upper house and the lower house. It's like you have a house, imagine a house, and you meet, or let's call it a headquarters. I think that's better. A headquarters. And you meet in one area with certain personnel, and you meet in another area with other personnel. So the upper house has opposition senators. These are persons nominated by the opposition, and they are selected to participate in the lawmaking process, and they're in the upper house. The member of the opposition is also in the upper house, and also a member of the lower house. The prime minister has membership in the upper house and the lower house. In the lower house, which is the House of Representatives, you have government senators. Right now you have, I think there are 13 of them, 13 government senators. So you have 13 government senators. You have 8 opposition senators. You have members of parliament, members of parliament who are in the lower house, in the House of Representatives. And that is how the parliament is constituted, generally speaking. Yes.
Yeah.
And they have the task now of dealing with with the legislative process, with the lawmaking process, and there's a lot of back and forth. You go, you put it forward, you don't object, then there's a period of time when you can object to what is presented as a bill, which is a draft law, a law in draft. So let's say that's a rough work that's put forward. And you have different sessions when the upper house looks at it and them object and them examine or them agree and all of that. And then it goes back to the lower house and there's this interplay back and forth until the process comes to a point where it comes into law. And then the Governor General has to approve it. It becomes law. And that is essentially how it goes. But the citizens now would want to have some way of keeping abreast of what is taking place and to participate in meaningful ways. Right? And that is how you have stakeholder groups. That's it. That's a catchy phrase now. Stakeholder groups. And these are groups and entities and individuals who are able to participate in some shape or form. So with the road traffic regulations and the noise abatement act, because different court there had been disquiet and issues with both pieces of legislation over a period of time. Those two, up to recently, fairly recently, were the subject of different stakeholder engagement. But it's not a seamless, clear-cut activity. And so that is how you could have a reggae right now and be asking questions like, what's going on with noise abatement, with that issue? Where is it? Where is it? There's no clear answer right now where it is, because it is not on the list of priorities for lawmaking for this year. It is not on it. It doesn't mean it can't go on it, you know.
So what?
It don't mean that. But at the present moment, it is not.
Yeah, but you see, just listening to you explaining and you know, aware of what as well, knowing that the final stamp of approval is by the Governor General, who is the representative of King Charles III.
Yes.
Knowing that even though us stakeholders will make a decision and come to some semblance of conclusion and say, this is how we want our thing to run in Jamaica, the whole thing of still, it have to go through the process that our colonial master have to give the final approval. Which part we really there, you know, in after 60 years of what independence, what we really there, you know what I mean, that we still have to, whatever decision we make, we are
That
still
is
a child,
full
our children,
debate.
we use that. We are still
That
children.
is a full debate.
Hmm?
That is a full debate that we
And we need
have
to deal with
to
it.
sit and look at. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. And it is timely now too, because there was some mention that the whole subject or issue of further constitutional reform talks are afoot, or talks are being arranged concerning that. The Vale Royal talks seem to be in the contemplation of the government. We can wait and see how soon that will come about, because that's a major deal, and that would, for any change to be effected. And when I say change, whether we decide that we are staying with the constitutional monarchy or we are going to move to a republic, that
We
is
can't
something
decide that.
that can be
I don't
done
know.
in secret.
We shouldn't even.
That
We shouldn't even be contemplating that aspect of it. We shouldn't.
that is one view, you know.
You know,
That's one view I have.
because and even yeah, even where the talk is taking place is a problem for me personally. Vale Royal, you understand? And this don't really represent the ordinary Jamaican.
Well, that is where it would start between the government and the opposition. That wouldn't be the public setting for the talk. The public will have to be engaged, certainly fully engaged, by way of what is called a referendum. So that is when you come and put a specific constitutional issue to the public vote. And that is not, that can't be left to just general elections. That is a special voting process. So that is not something that can be treated lightly, nor does one have to think it will be treated lightly. But we have to start engaging each other to become clear about what we want, because on one hand, we are making certain moves that show that we are still wedded to the Commonwealth and wedded to the monarchical style government and ways of living. And on the other hand, we are saying that we have come of age and we are now 60 years old plus, and we are ready to chart fully our own path. So this is something that will occupy the public conscience and the public mind and intellect for some time, once those conversations start. But the official conversation would be between the government side and the opposition. And that, I think, is what they're referring to as the
and that is real.
talks. And that is part of the tradition. So even this
Yes,
speech that the
and-
Governor General gave is part of the tradition, and his speech is called the throne speech.
Yeah, and that is one of the things. The throne of England, I just that them put out because we have on throne here. So the throne is in England. The Governor General is here to present the throne of England and deliver the speech from the throne of England to the subjects of Jamaica. Right?
But you know, truth be told,
when we look and as I talk about the common, as I talk about, let me finish this. As I talk about the Commonwealth, I am just thinking about even what they call the term now, a presidential government like a Trinidad and Barbados. After them themselves from remove the Governor General as head of state, right? Like Trinidad and like Barbados recently. Why they still remain a part of the Commonwealth if they're done with that?
Because I can't
Is it
speak
that when
for,
Jamaica make that move, we'll still be a part of it?
I cannot speak for the psyche of Trinidad or
Yeah, go on.
Barbados, but I can just offer a perspective. It's about
Okay.
the relationships. Because even though we are talking about constitutional monarchy and so on, it's really the prime minister that heads the government. In fact, the governor general rarely does anything outside and beyond the recommendation of the government or the opposition. So what the governor general does when he makes his decisions, it is usually in consultation with the government or with the government and opposition. So it's ceremonial in many respects, it's formality in many respects, and what really obtains is more independence than the formal structure would suggest. And that gives us an opportunity to hold our leaders accountable, because it's not really England run the show. It's not really England around the show, but we should still.
When we say,
We should still tidy up our act so that it's consistent with what really is happening. So that's a long way to answer the question. Why would one remain a part of the Commonwealth? For the relationships and the friendships that have been forged over years of diplomacy and so on. And Jamaica still has a fairly positive reputation on the world stage that it would perhaps want to maintain. And instead of saying, oh, you're part of Commonwealth, me and you know you're not nothing again. So that is my view of it at any rate.
Yeah, we could look at we could look at it in another way, you know. It's like some of the relationship, husband and wife relationship. Yeah, yes. You can have a nice relationship, but you have to adhere to these rules, right? So submit yourself. Don't fly past the nest when I speak. So we can have a good relationship. So any
smart woman knows how to make you feel like say it's you run things.
Yes. You know, so we must be careful when we hear say, boy, we're having a cardinal or whatever, or a good relationship. A good relationship. A cordial, yes, that's the word. Yes. A cordial relationship, yes. Yeah? And looking at it, you realize, don't fly past the nest, right? You're supposed to steer. So the moment you fly past your nest, you're in trouble. You're a bad child. Get a spanking for it. So you see, and that is why, by the language of the law, we have to, you know. Recently, they were saying to me, "Hey, I must study the Black Laws Dictionary, you know, because some things in the law where you need and so them sound, you know." So people like we search a Black Laws Dictionary, I said, "John, if you buy one of them dictionary, you know, if you understand certain terminology, you know."
Well,
and
what, you know,
even we break down, even how we break down representation a while ago. Yes. Many people don't even, as much as they are intellectually solid, then just say, "Boy, you forgot represent me, represent me." But what you send to me for me to go and represent to the other person.
And you have to be spiritually attuned to have a certain level of understanding to dissect some of what we are dealing with. No amount of Black's Law Dictionary can
Of
give you the
course.
insight that you need. Although it is useful, it is useful. And
Because
whoever can get
the
the
man make it too.
opportunity, yes, whoever can get the opportunity to study law, I say, yes, go ahead and study it, even if you're not going to be a lawyer. Because it affords you a certain outlook. It affords you an appreciation of certain events and ways of thinking. And it is good to have that. But if you don't have that, it doesn't mean that you can't tune into your higher self and your life experience and your insight, or as you would say, eyesight,
A natural law.
to appreciate what is going on, universal laws, it is not just one thing, any one thing. It's an expansive way of embracing life. Because many people will sit as learned and informed,
True.
and it still doesn't click for them. It still don't register. So what speaks to your soul is also a part of it. If you're not interested in certain matters, no amount of intellect and academic acumen is going to do anything. Because what I'm recognizing to Aymara, we know how to do a lot of things. The amount of treaties that Jamaica is signatory to, the amount of conventions, the amount of committees. I mean, we are all that on a bag of chips on paper and elsewhere, and really so. But we don't always do what we know how to do. We don't always. We start with a bang and we end with a whimper with many things. It's like you start on a diet and after 2 weeks you can't bother. There's a big gap between what there's a big gap between what we know to do and what we actually do. And that is our challenge. So we are not ignorant of facts. What we don't focus on is the truth. Facts can change as they change every day. But the truth often escapes us.
Okay. What Trump called it again? There was a new term.
Don't punish me.
Recently.
Don't punish me to quote anything Trump said. Please don't punish me.
Alternative facts or whatever. So we're going to find what you call the alternative truth or alternative facts.
Truth is.
I don't know if you I don't know if you did tune in when the sergeant was online, and he was saying that he is the father for all the children in Falmouth. I don't take that lightly, and I hope he not take it lightly, because that was something powerful to hear from a policeman. And I wish every policeman could have looked at, Nehima was listening and say, awesome job, Sergeant Wallace. You are a real example for how police should conduct themselves as not their whole public, and that is something deep. That is something deep to know that you are serving the public and and they have access to you, and you see every children are, all you see the children of your community, as your children. That's awesome kind of thinking, and you, if you apply that in action and get some of him colleagues them to see things that way, what a country would have, you know what I mean? We don't believe the crime and violence that is so rampant, you know what I mean? If the people feel so
or maybe if it could, maybe it could be
secure by even
eliminated
the
if
police
all of
officers.
us, if all parents saw all children as their children,
Mhm.
then there are so many social ills that
Yeah,
we would not
yeah,
have to contend with. However, we would have to
true.
embrace that consistently and not just once in a while. And I've had the experience of speaking to a parent quietly in privacy about certain
Mhm.
observations of how the children
Mhm.
been interacting. And I was summarily
Mhm.
dismissed. I was summarily dismissed. And what does that mean? I was told to get lost.
Mhm.
And I was seeking to have a civil and cordial conversation with a fellow parent
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
the relationships among our children. And she had a right to say, get out of my face, don't tell me nothing about my baby. She had a right to do that.
Yeah.
And so I left her alone. But was that helpful?
Yeah.
Was that helpful for community relations and the whole concept of the village and so on? No, it was not. But that is where we reach, where we don't want a soul to even look at our children,
Mhm.
much less suggest how our children could get along better or worse, comment on the behavior of any child.
True.
That's not ours. So we have to decide for ourselves what we want, because Sergeant will make such an offer to be so protective. And in trying to do that, he might get some amount of pushback and hostility.
Mhm.
I hope he doesn't allow that to deter him, though.
True.
I hope not. I hope not.
I hope not. And I hope more of us see the need for that
Yes,
and help to support,
yes,
that kind of action because
yes,
in country, right
yes,
across the entire Jamaica, this is something that we need to do, because no amount of law where government pass, what I mean, can curtail
yes,
certain behavior. We have
absolutely.
to engage people, and deal with them, one-on-one, respectfully, what I mean, not with that kind of aggression, and this is, we maybe need to have another discussion pertaining to the formulation of laws and who really, and some of the reason why laws are put in place, for from
All
from
right.
from from an ancient time coming down. Who really
That
have the
will be
power
a
to
very, very
what are
interesting
some of the
one.
reasons why these
Yes,
people?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so
That is
we,
something that
we
we
need to
can
talk
do.
about that because this is something where people, because if these, yeah, yeah, years ago, there was an incident. I don't really remember exactly, and I was talking to the police about it, and the police said, "Well, I am here to just carry out the law. That's what I'm here for. You go and talk to your member of parliament because they are the one who, made the law, and our duty is to carry it out." And I'm saying, wow, so we have to look into these things, to understand
Why you would be met with that kind of response? Yes,
the law over the
I'm
years.
committed. I'm committed to
Yeah,
participating
but
and getting into
mhm,
that kind of discourse.
yes, so we are happy we're here for another community buzz, and we're upon the wrapping up here now. We give thanks to Primal, we give thanks to the people who tune in from across the globe, Africa, Europe, South America,
Amazing.
North America, here in Jamaica, all around the communities in Jamaica here, St. Anne's, here in Falmouth, Trelawney, South, Claptown, the village, Wakefield. We need to come have a list of all of them village, if you call out the name them, and we need to go do a survey,
Yes.
because there are so many communities. Me, I drive way in one woods here. So we know say a whole heap of people tune in, you understand, and we give thanks to all of the people who tune in on the FM band 96.7 FM, and all the people who tune in on the, what do you call it, Mr. FM band, and online. Yes, just online. See, fitfmja.com. See, and www.primalmedia.com. We're gone worldwide. Simone,
Yes.
it's
Yes,
another full
Elmara.
enjoyable.
Yes,
Similar
man.
them there, It's another program.
And I bless the hands of the women in the Maasai
See?
tribe who made this
and
big
a lot,
family.
and that's thing about community board. Aye, blessings.
Yes.
Blessing Marcia Harper, blessing Naima Edward, blessings to, we give thanks. We give thanks for all of the people who tune in. Sometimes the technology kind of mess up and go on away, but we give thanks. We give thanks. Milton Booth over there in Maryland, him always a tune in and wife. So we give thanks to all the people. Next week.